What's up, guys? Our wrestling podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious along with Jess, the Total Package, Craig, the British Bulldog, and Cuz, bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Can someone feed me today's topic?
SummerSlam 2021. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
What a SummerSlam!
That was fucking great. Good times.
Some people were there. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. On social media, give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019, or check us out on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. Cuz, how was SummerSlam in person?
Oh, it was fucking awesome, man. That just being in that arena alone was awesome, or that stadium, I should say.
I am jelly. As a Raider fan in that brand new stadium, I still have not been inside. Jess and Cuz broke it in for me.
We did. We were there. Oh my god!
Is it as amazing as everyone says?
Yeah, the stadium is fucking crazy.
It's fabulous.
Dude.
It's a fabulous. I hate the Raiders. Let it be known on the record, but it is.
You kind of like
fabulous.
them. You kind of like them.
Oh my god!
Oh
Yeah,
my
I do like
God.
Carr. I like Carr. It's a fabulous stadium. It was.
Yeah.
It was a spectacle. Let's just say that.
Just being outside of that was like
nobody's picked up.
intimidating.
We are going to review this. Dave and Craig will give their perspective because they watched it on Peacock as it happened, and Cuz and I were there live at Allegiant Stadium
on a
in
whim.
Las Vegas.
On a whim. It was a last minute
On
decision.
a whim,
too.
actually.
Sons of
We were
biscuits.
there for a bachelor party, and the bachelor said, "Let's go to SummerSlam." And we're like, "Okay,"
Yep.
because like you have to talk.
Don't
us
twist my
into
fucking
it.
arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the bachelor's decision, is it not? So you just kind of.
Did you
I mean, it
guys
was
do
an
the
idea.
thing where you actually caught someone outside the concourse, like that had enough tickets for you guys, or did you call in earlier?
No, we
No,
just went. We went right
tickets were
on.
available, dude.
Yeah, tickets were available.
Cheap
oh
too.
shit! Like
They were
went to
cheap.
the box office.
Cheap too.
Yeah.
I think we got them for almost $20. It was about $20.
24.
No, you
and
did
Get
not.
out of town.
Yeah, it's 24.
Yeah, we paid for John. We paid the service fee or whatever, and then we paid for the bachelor.
Like we all split, for the bachelor.
Yeah.
So
You know what? Meltzer and WWE would not like you saying that. $20 tickets at the last minute. That's great though. That's amazing.
Yeah, because we went on SeatGeek, which I'd never heard of before, but I guess it's one of the ticket distributors. So they were like the cheapest one. If you still
Yeah.
went on Ticketmaster, you got them for like you would get the upper for like $35, which is still I thought that was a good deal. I was like, let's fucking go. And then someone's like, oh, go to SeatGeek, and I'd never heard of that.
I never
And
heard
went
of
to
that either.
SeatGeek, and then they were like anywhere from 17 to like 25, depending on where you got them. So
Actually,
like, they were.
if we would have went way back behind us, it would have been $10. There was tickets for $10,
Yeah,
but they didn't
so
have
we
the
were,
row
we were
eight.
at the very top. We were at the very top bowl, but the first row, the very first
Yeah.
row, and we were right over the entrance. So like when the wrestler first came out, if they just
could
stood
see
in
him.
the entranceway,
Yeah.
you couldn't see him yet. But the second they took like one step, then you could see him. So
That's
we were
great.
right diagonal over the entrance.
One thing I had a question. I know. Sorry, Dave. Before you jump in, before a question I had at home is like, why didn't they do some kind of big entrance? It seemed very
so-
like Houston Astrodome, like coming out of the bullpen.
That's
entrance.
exactly what I said. So we're on the side. They had just a regular entrance. If you couldn't see this because the hard camera was not shooting it, but on like right when you walk in, we were talking about right when you go up the big escalator to come inside the arena.
Yeah.
There's a huge bar, and there's a huge open space where you could watch it. My picture behind me is from my
When you
phone.
walk
I
in.
took that from standing from the bar straight into the arena.
That's
So,
so cool.
we're on the opposite side. Like, see that big screen behind my head?
Yeah.
We were if you're looking at it right now, to the left. We were
Yeah.
to the left. That's where we sat. So
Yeah.
we sat way across the arena. But so where I was standing, that's where the stage I believe will be for Mania. Because if you go on the opposite side and sit where I just said we were sitting, there's a big Allegiant Stadium sign, which I'm almost positive they'll do a set, probably like a nice cool Vegas style set for Mania, and then right above it it'll say Allegiant Stadium. That was all tarped out like they were going to put the stage there. So they could have easily gotten like 60,000 people in that venue if they
They could
wanted
have filled
to.
it up, yeah.
But yeah, if you were sitting like basically like where I was standing in this picture, it was all tarped out. So there was a ton of empty seats. And I'm not suggesting that they didn't sell them. I'm just saying they tarped it all off for whatever reason. Like there was no one there. So I would say if you're looking at it from where we were, they sold like 2/3 of the arena out.
Yeah.
So they could have gotten another 10th. And
yeah.
the seats on the floor were spaced big time. Like there was tons of concrete on the floor. So for Mania, they're going to do over 60.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing that
When they do it.
they didn't know when the pandemic was going to end. It's an 11-month investment. all the WrestleMania documentaries talks about how you start WrestleMania the day after the last one.
Yeah.
In order to get like a stadium and a stage of that size and the infrastructure, like maybe they just did not have time. But like, I just wonder, like,
yeah.
I mean,
they should have, like,
they didn't know it was gonna be open.
They've already planned for Sophie at this point, which is even bigger, right? I mean, for WrestleMania.
Yeah, so they'll do the big stage and stuff like that. I'm really interested. They announced Money in the Bank for 2022, so next July. So I'm really interested to see. I mean, I can't.
How do you fill a stadium for Money in the Bank?
Well, everything will be super cheap, I bet.
Depends on the names too on the card.
That's a tall ladder.
But if they do it, if you were in there, and if they keep the entrance where for like non-WrestleManias where it was for SummerSlam, they could keep scaling back and do 30,000, 20,000. They could do like they can scale it.
Did we get the official number of 50,200 or was it
51,000?
It's
51,000.
Yeah,
some change. Yeah.
All right. There you go. You guys contributed to that at the last minute, so good on you.
Yeah, it was awesome. Awesome experience.
All right. Why was there a pre-show?
So we didn't get there. We left because we didn't want to stick in the traffic and everything before. So we didn't get there until like 5.
So, Jess, how was the Uber ride to the stadium?
The Uber ride was actually pretty fine.
Yeah, there was no traffic.
But like I said, we didn't leave our hotel until like yeah, we didn't get in the Uber car until after 4. So like we got over there like within 25 minutes from the hotel, and we stayed in Fremont Street. We stayed downtown.
Oh my God,
so
that's a long way.
Yeah, it was only like a 15-20 minute ride.
Folks,
and
a little Vegas trivia for you guys. Downtown is not the strip with the where everything is. The stadium is on the very, very end of the strip, closest to California. Downtown is the furthest from California. Next to Stratosphere, you get in a car at 4 o'clock.
I'm so sorry, all 7 listeners. I was joking when I asked how the Uber ride was, and it really got off the rails.
It is. Welcome to the Thomas Brothers podcast, where we talk about how to properly read the Thomas
we
Brothers
didn't
map
get in there.
downtown.
I didn't watch
the whole
dark.
point was you guys didn't even see the pre-show.
No, we didn't.
No, because we kind of purposely missed it. We just wanted to get there for the pay-per-view, which we technically did, so we missed it.
So my question is, why in the hell is Big E on the pre-show? Come on, man.
That was rough.
Well, they needed to fit Moist TV and all that stuff, you know?
At least he beat Corbin.
At least Corbin won $100 at the craps.
Oh my God.
That's so funny.
Oh, and he turned the 100 into 1,300 after.
He said
he was going to buy a good meal and
he got a presidential suite, and then Pat McAfee tweeted tonight, which is on a Monday night. He's like, I swear to God, I thought this guy was homeless when I checked in my hotel, and it was Baron Corbin playing blackjack with a mask on.
Just
and Pat McAfee. Yeah, it was fantastic.
He's just keeping kayfabe.
He did. And he wore that shirt at like the entire time.
So effortlessly funny, man. It doesn't. You don't have to force it. He's brilliant. Brilliant.
Could be the biggest babyface next year.
But yeah, Big E did defeat Baron Corbin. I don't know what the time frame was. Somebody looked that up. How long?
It was 6 minutes and 35 seconds.
Nice work. Thank you, Jed.
So then we went right into the opening contest, which we came up the big escalator into the arena right when AJ's music was hitting. So we missed RK Bro's entrance. But yeah, we came in. So it was for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship, 7 minutes and 5 seconds. RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Riddle defeated AJ Styles and almost by pinfall. RKO was hit out of nowhere on AJ Styles for the 3 count. We were standing, we were getting our first drink, our only drink, because the Wi-Fi went down in the arena. It was a debacle. But we were getting our first beer there, and so from the view that you see behind me, there's the ring, and we got to see RK Bro win the tag titles, and it was a nice opener live. The whole place was going insane for Orton and Riddle. And especially when he hit the RKO, the whole place came alive, and the pinfall was awesome. Like, yeah, to hear all 50,000 people, like they were way over. Like, RK Bro got a big ovation after.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if there's a bigger. Well, I mean, sure there's some, but one of the biggest actual action pops, like where it actually happens in the match, is when an RKO does come out of nowhere. There's nothing. Well, there's a few, but there's not.
We were standing in line for the bar, and you could see the match. So from what we saw of it, I'll give it a solid B+ because like it seemed like a really good opener. They didn't do anything super complicated, but they just made sure to get the RKO in there at the end.
Crowd was
invested. The crowd was into it. All their spots were basic. So I give it a solid like B+. It opened the show really fun. 7 minutes.
What you got, Cuz? You were live.
I agree. B+. I think maybe being there helped with that. Maybe it would have been better or worse, but yeah, I give it a B+. Just the crowd here and the roar of the crowd for Riddle and Orton when they won, and just the spots that we got to see. It was awesome. It was an awesome experience, man.
Yeah, I'm not far off. I think I put it in the B category. I mean, it was entertaining. It was a great opener. I do. I'm kind of done with the scooter, but maybe it's a B plus if the scooter was gone. I don't know. I'm kind of done with that.
It's working, I guess.
Bro.
It's working, and Orton keeps looking down on it, and he just shakes his head when he.
And I do have to say that
like,
Orton does need to shave the mustache. It's a little creepy.
No, he's doing it deliberately for you, by the way. Like he is doing it deliberately.
That's fair.
That was the first thing I said when I walked into the arena. I'm all, oh my god,
you
Orton
can see
has a porn mustache.
Yeah.
Like that's the first thing I said.
It's perfect. He's paying homage to Joey Ryan.
Supposed to say that.
Yeah, Peter North, whatever.
Yeah, I'll give it a B. Also, like it was a fun opener. Like from home, a lot of the camera angles dealt with like Orton's relationship with Riddle. How he kind of can't stand him yet, like loves him, but begrudgingly respects him, and a lot of it had to do with kind of almost or whatever kind of like starting to take some damage. It was fun. It was a fun opener. I give it a B.
Yeah. The next match here, I don't know. I know we saw stuff on the big screen, but I'm not really sure. Unless Dave, if you want to cover that, I know they did the segments, but we couldn't really hear him in the arena. And the next is y'all know, please don't. The next match was we were actually on our way to our seats here, so I didn't see it, and I'm glad I didn't because I did watch it when I got home. Alexa Bliss defeated Eva Marie.
Oh no!
3 minutes 50 seconds. F-. I didn't need to see it live. Like
Guys,
I said, I
what
watched
did,
it when I got home.
what did I text? What did I
F.
text when this match started?
Eve sucks.
I don't even remember.
You said Eve sucks or something.
Something
like that.
about how did Big E get bumped for this or something?
Yeah.
No. I literally said she better not. She better not
stink
muck
up the
this
joint.
She better not stink up the joint. And then what did I say after the match?
Yeah, she stunk up the joint.
Eva sucks.
Yeah.
And then
what I
that
said.
explains the
It's
whole
terrible.
thing. Everything was awkward. Everything was bad. And I feel so bad for Bliss here. Except for one thing. I will say this. I can't tell you how many people that I've talked to that are big wrestling fans when Bray Wyatt left, how many people were like, I hope they take the gimmick off Bliss. But you know why they don't? Because they got to sell dolls for $14.99 a fucking pop.
Right.
That's
And then on top of
and
that,
it's
you know,
horrifying.
in her defense, I am a fan of Alexa Bliss, and
I am
she's
too.
owning this character.
One of my favorites.
I'm tired of this character. I think it's stupid, but she's
Yeah.
owning it, and it's not her fault.
She's doing her job.
But actually, I remember while we were walking up the escalator to go to our seats, so we couldn't see, like we went down a corridor for a while.
Yeah.
I could hear the match going on, and there were Bray Wyatt chants, like
Yeah,
fairly
there
loud
was.
for a
Yeah.
portion of it.
I mean, it's a lot of groans for me, and I literally give it a D. And Alexa really tried, but Eva has no business in there. She really doesn't. And even the payoff with her protege, which
Dewdrop.
yeah, there was. She says, "Oh, and the winner is not you," and she walks away. There was no payoff. She didn't try to punch her. Nobody hurt each other.
It was all
And
done.
It goes right to the next segment. So nothing happened to even carry a storyline forward.
So-
The storyline carry was awful. The match was even worse, and it's all because of Eva Marie. And I'm just like, why are you here? And why are you taking someone's spot at SummerSlam?
I'll give it a D minus just because I do like Alexa Bliss, and actually
I
they
give it a D. You give it worse.
Just to be fair too, they did actually follow up with it tonight on Raw. Eva, she attacked Dewdrop, beat her up.
Oh, so
laid
we
her
got to
out.
see it on TV.
And I will
fantastic.
say, with Eva Marie, the only thing I do like about her right now is her character, like everything that she's talking about. Like she's calling herself an indie darling, and then she paved her way on the independent scene and everything. So she's fucking trolling everybody. It's fucking great on that part,
That's
but
funny.
her wrestling still sucks. But yeah, I still give it D minus though.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Craig, what did you?
I'll give it D minus. That they had all the time in the world to like practice this out, but Eva Marie is just so tentative.
She's horrible.
And has no flow. And I don't know if Alexa Bliss doesn't like her. It seemed like she wasn't really trying to make her in any way or just get out of it. Like, but it was
You know, Craig,
it was
there's
bad.
There's a saying. You know that little white speck on top of chicken shit?
Yeah.
It's also chicken shit.
Yeah, it was the entire end with Dewdrop or like whatever. Like she's gorgeous. It's just not enough. It's obvious that they care about her ratings with Total Divas and they still think there is something with her. But and now I'm with Jess too. Like I like Alexa Bliss and I'm glad that she's staying
of
with the
course.
gimmick. She's giving it 100%. Like what else can she do at this point?
Yeah.
You can't. She has to go away for weeks and weeks if she wants to rebrand. Like just go with the doll. But shit, man, don't put this second and don't put this on SummerSlam.
I got an idea. You get an old friend of Alexa to give her a really hard, move to the head somehow, and she snaps out of it on TV, and she starts crying and she walks away, and you're on to a new storyline next week. Keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got things.
I got ideas.
Jess, what was your grade? Sorry, buddy.
I said F- on that.
F-. All right. Good stuff.
So the next match was for the United States Championship. 13 minutes, 50 seconds. Damian Priest challenged and defeated Sheamus by pinfall. I felt this was a little too long. Now, keep in mind, when we're there live, we can't hear the commentary.
Yeah.
So that does hurt a match like this, because when I went and watched it when I got home, it was different to me when I watched it. But in the arena, I was disappointed, and I felt it went on way too long. I was only disappointed because I really like Damian Priest.
Yeah.
I think he's got everything. He's got the voice. He's got the look and everything. I think they just got to figure out a groove with him. He's got so much potential. Sheamus actually is like reborn.
It's fucking great.
Especially after his great match with Riddle at Mania. Like, Sheamus was a great US champion. He's been really good. I just felt the match was a little too long. Live, it didn't come off. People got quiet, and Damian didn't get a reaction at all, and he got booed at the end a little bit too. But I'm glad he won the US title. We'll see what they do with him, but I don't know. It just seems like they're kind of fizzing out with him. So I give it a C. Live in the arena, I probably should be a little worse with it, but they weren't bad. They didn't mess anything up. They were just really slow motion a lot of the times, and so it just didn't do anything for me.
Hey, Jess, what do you do when someone's phasing out and they need something? What do you give them?
Title?
They're walking.
The U.S. title.
Yeah, the U.S. title, right? Like, if they're not getting the character over, apparently you just put a secondary title on them, and there you go.
Sorry, Damian Priest, I'm not a fan.
Whoa,
we've established this, back in the day. I do appreciate his work and where he's come from and how much he's worked to get here. It's not working out for me, man. It's not. I give it a C at best, and that's because I love Sheamus on the Rebirth, and I'm not a Damian Priest fan. We'll see what happens. I know the moves are great. I don't know what it is about him. I can't get behind it. I can't figure it out. It's just a feeling. I don't get it. I'm sorry.
I'll give it a B- just for the headbutt alone that he took. It was. It was, and then the interview after it, like, you could see the knot on his head. Like, it was not a fucking kayfabe headbutt at all. I mean, it was brutal, but it was still clunky. I guess that's the
end
way
of the match.
Sheamus
When he
is.
ripped the mask off in that not figure 4, but whatever they were in. When he ripped the mask off, the crowd actually responded to that, and then they responded to his last 2 moves. And people did cheer during the pinfall, but they were dead silent before the pinfall. And then afterwards, like when his music went off and he was walking away, you could hear boos. Like, so he's just not motivating the crowd. I don't know what they have to do with him. I think Vince will stay with him because he's tall and he's a big guy. Like, so
you're talking Damian?
Yeah, Damian. Yeah. He had a highlighted match at Mania, and they're continuing on, so they're pushing him. I just am underwhelmed. But
yeah, Cuz?
Straight up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give it a solid C. It did feel clunky at the beginning. It felt like they were trying to find their groove. And then, towards the end, when Sheamus had him in the heel hook, and then he ripped off the mask, the crowd came alive for it. But yeah, like, during most of the match, there was really no response to it.
I think it was just
other than Sheamus, when Sheamus was playing to the crowd, everyone was boo! Like, he was playing the heel so good. He was just taunting the crowd.
Great, man.
Yeah, he's fucking great.
He's found a whole new gear.
Yeah. And Damian Priest, I like Jeff said, Vince loves, the big guys, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see Damian Priest bulk up over the next, year. And he does have the it factor. I think he has the personality. He has, the move set. He's great in the ring. I've watched him in Ring of Honor, and then when he came in the NXT, so he does have it. It just, I guess he just needs to find his groove on the main roster, on the superstar form of Damian Priest now.
Craig didn't grade it, and I can't believe he wore an Adam Cole shirt. Just saying.
I thought I gave it a B- for the headbutt.
Yeah, you gave it a B-.
Yeah. All right.
So the next match
shirt off and burn it.
So, wow. The next match is for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. 10 minutes, 50 seconds. The Usos, Jay and Jimmy Uso, defended their belts against Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. 10 minutes, 50 seconds. I give it a B-. Finally, they were starting to go. Like, I felt this match was getting a good rhythm. I love the Usos. I think they're great. I'm glad they didn't put the belts back on Rey and Dominic. Sorry. But Dominic actually live in the arena, I think the cameras might have covered it up, but Dominic actually flubbed a few times.
Yeah.
He's just not there.
He's off rhythm. I think for what he is and what his stage is, he's good. But I mean, he's in WWE right now. He's on the main stage. I mean, come on, like, you got to be a little sharper. And I get what they're doing, and he should be thanking Ray every day because that's why he's getting his opportunity. But it was not a bad match, especially when Ray got in there. The action picked up really well. Usos was great. The crowd actually responded really well to Usos too. But I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought
the crowd doesn't care about DUIs, and that's fine.
Yeah, no, they don't.
So one thing that you said you missed commentary. One thing that I thought was fabulous on commentary was when Dominic did the Three Amigos. It was a tribute to his uncle who really loved him. Like, did you guys forget the storyline from like fucking 15 years ago where he tried to steal him in a ladder match? Like, we just forget all about that and we say, oh, Uncle Eddie was so loving and endearing.
It's for the custody of Dominic.
For the custody of Dominic in a fucking ladder match.
Famous.
Where the fuck was Vicky?
There it is. Where I knew it was coming. Fuck. Where was Vicky? She missed the spot. Here she's coming. Yeah.
She's coming.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Did you give it a grade?
Oh, we're fighting for that. Yeah. I don't know. Give it a grade, I guess. Jesus.
You?
I'll give it a B minus. It's fun to see, but yeah, it did. I was kind of in and out of it. It didn't hold my attention fully. I love the Usos. I think they're great. I do like to see Dominic and Ray together. There's like a dynamic of father and son. It's always very cool. But
they're working their way out of it though.
Yeah. And then apparently like Vince wants Ray and Dominic to feud, and Ray is not into it, feuding with his son. So little backstage Meltzer action.
What?
No quiero.
Did you give it a grade, Cuz?
No. I gave it a B minus though. I was into it for the most part. I think Dominic, for a short time as he's been on the main roster and everything, I think he's doing pretty good. I know he has a couple flubs here and there, but he looks like he flows pretty good. Other than that, other than the couple flubs. So, but the match is enjoyable. Always love the Usos. I love their gimmick right now. I love how they're pushing.
If anybody else flubbed like that on SummerSlam, Vince would tear their throat out.
Of course he would. But yeah, I give it a B minus.
You know what though? Like it's for. I guess I kind of look at Ray when Dominic's in the ring. Like it's almost like it's just for Ray. It's for 20 years of Ray taking all those like bumps, and I'm not saying it's good. And it's the best like representation of what you should put across for all the fans. But like I love seeing it. Like
you still gotta
it's his last run.
He took a spot from somebody else, man. I hate to be that.
No, you're not wrong. But like I love it.
What are you talking about? Evo was on the card.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
She took someone's spot too.
So I'm going to describe the next events in the order that we saw them live. So we didn't have any sound or anything like that, no commentary. Shinsuke Nakamura got to do his thing. First of all, Rick Boogs actually got a decent response.
Yeah,
when he came out there.
He was funny at home,
bro.
Rick Boogs was funny at home.
And Nakamura came down, and I was like, "Who's Nakamura facing?" I couldn't remember.
Oh my god!
I couldn't find anywhere. So Nakamura comes out and he does his thing, and they even announced him as Intercontinental Champion, and they're doing the entrance or whatever. And Pat McAfee, actually, the whole crowd was fucking laughing hard at Pat McAfee because like there was nothing on the screen.
So hard on the.
You saw them walk around, but we were so high up because we were in the top bowl, and you couldn't really see what was going on. But they had the SummerSlam logo on all the big screens, and then they turned it, and you just see fucking McAfee standing up and pointing down, and then like Bogues was over there on the table, and like everybody started laughing. So everyone was having a good time, and then in the arena, as this happened, that ended. All the lights go out. And then they put up a video package, and I'm like, maybe they're going over the feud and whoever Nakamura's facing. And then they start showing Bianca and Sasha. And I was like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, why the fuck? And then you see Nakamura, as we're watching the video in the arena's dark, but you can see Bogues and Nakamura walk out. Yep. And so we're like, what the fuck is going on? And then we're like, weird. They're doing the women's match right now? Okay. And I had heard all the rumors leading up that Sasha was a no-show. They taken them off house shows or whatever. They didn't know if rumors were that someone had COVID. They both aren't going to be there. Then we heard that Bianca was fine. They even did an angle on SmackDown where they did the contract signing. Yeah. So everything is fine. And that was a week ago. That wasn't the night before. That was a week ago they did that. So they were still moving forward like they're going to have Bianca against Sasha, which the whole crowd was fucking ready for it. Trust me. There was a buzz in there. We were ready. Then Bianca's music hits. She gets a good reaction. She comes out. She's doing her thing. And then so we're all, here we go. And then right away, the announcer just goes, Sasha Banks is unable to compete tonight. So instead, boom. And so we're like in the arena. The crowd actually, all the wind left the crowd at that point. People were pissed off when Carmella came down. She got booed loud when she got in the ring. It was not because she's a good heel. People were pissed off. Yeah. And so then Becky's music hits. Then we go into the next match. So a massive ovation, by the way, for the return of Becky Lynch. Huge. The whole crowd. Cuz got it on tape. Go to our YouTube site and Cuz put it on there. So it was a huge ovation. Nobody really knew what she was going to do. This ended up leading into an impromptu match for the WWE SmackDown Championship. It was 27 seconds. I give it an F-. If I could go lower, I would do it. They completely fucked Bianca over here. There's no excuse for it. I don't care what corporate spin they're going to put on it, or here's what we're going to do. Like, no, there was no excuse. Even if Bianca pissed someone off in the back, which I'm sure is not the case. She did not deserve this. It makes no sense to put Becky up against Bianca, who you've been pushing as a mega face, and she's been successful since Mania. She's done everything that's been asked of her. She gets a good reaction. She's starting to get a good fan base. You put her up against Becky, who's like the Hulk Hogan of that division. And then you bury her. And then you bury her on top of it. So you knew the crowd, because I know their excuse is going to be, well, we didn't want Bianca to get booed. Cool. Then you don't do what you did at all then. At all. You don't ever put her in the Becky train way. Why would you lay her on the tracks and then tell the Becky train, don't run her over, because it's going to run her over.
What did you send me the Brian Alvarez? Like, any regular fan could have thought of a better finish than this.
It made none of this made any sense, and they were advertising Sasha. They knew about 8 days, according to the rumor, that Sasha was not going to be here. They continued to advertise it like it was going to happen up until, like I said, what we saw in the arena.
Can I throw it out there right quick?
Go ahead, take over, Dave. Take over.
I'm going to throw you the regular fan idea. So here's what you do, right? And I really believe that they panicked. They had to, and I'll give you the F-, just for that, but. And I love Becky, and I'm glad that she's champion and all that stuff. I'll follow that suit, but this is the wrong way to do it. You could have milked this for at least 6 months. At least 6 months. And Becky would have chased it. And Becky's chased it before, and there was no better ratings while Becky was chasing it. That's the whole freaking point. So here's the deal. Becky comes back down to the ring as Carmella's in the ring, and then Bianca squashes Carmella. No problem. Then you have a face-off where Becky hits her in, an exploder or something crazy and walks out, and Becky's music's blasting as she walks out. And the crowd goes apeshit, and we've got work for weeks, if not months. And and fortunately Sasha's out at this point. She's done for a while. She's going to get rebranded and find her way back in. That sucks for her, but that's what happens at SummerSlam when things work out the way they do. Like, I know you're supposed to make something bigger and better, but with Bianca in that role and how her and Sasha tore the house down at WrestleMania, you can't do that to Bianca Belair. You just can't. She's phenomenal. She's a fantastic talent. She's probably the strongest woman on the roster, if not really close. And you have Becky come out, who's just, into her 90th day of core, and puts 2 moves on her and pins her. Like, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for anyone. The tweets and the text messages I got from friends and even family, like, what was that? That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And these are casuals saying this doesn't make sense.
I was live in the arena when I texted you guys and said, wow, I can't believe they botched Becky's return. And really, I really meant more of, like, I should have said, I can't believe they buried Bianca like that. But like, it was both. They buried Bianca and they botched a big star's return. In one foul swoop. It's the state of the company. It's what they do. It's my biggest complaint about today's wrestling atmosphere from the WWE. They just don't get it.
So what are the rumors on how many days they had to prepare for this?
8.
8 days to figure this out.
But you can't tell me that they didn't know that they were going to have Becky come back. Maybe Becky was just going to come back and be on commentary or something for the match if it was actually going to happen. But or whatever. Like, they botched it. Like, they just totally botched it.
I am convinced that Vince is the 75-year-old version who just blows it too fast.
Yeah. Go ahead, Craig.
I was okay with it. It's not ideal. I think there's a bigger story to tell. I don't think they buried Bianca because they kept cutting to her the entire way back to the locker room where they did not dismiss her and roll out and never saw her again. They spent a lot of time on her face, like saying, no way, you fucking got me with this one move. I think there's a bigger story to tell. Dave, I like your idea. There's a better way to do it like you did. I think that I said over text with you guys, I think they panicked with CM Punk the night but I don't think it's gonna hurt Bianca. But I was not there, and I think it doesn't matter. It didn't matter how you guys.
I'll tell you this:
felt
if
that in the arena.
If Bianca beats her on TV, up, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll get that, to be honest. By the way, but I think you'll get a longer feud. But I also don't think they give a fuck what the live crowd thinks, because they can pipe up enough noise and do what they want to manipulate the story, and it's not about what the fans want that night. So. I mean, it was fun on TV.
Craig is right, though. Craig is right. So
I
think I'm misusing the word buried, because we used to know buried as like Craig made a very good point about the production notes. They made sure to keep going back to Bianca. It was like when Hogan lost to Warrior, they kept purposely going back to Hogan, riding back on the cart. It was a purpose thing. So I'm using the word buried in the sense. So maybe I mean mishandled. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
On that. Anything that's 27 seconds on a pin of Bianca is mishandled at least.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And Craig is right. Craig is right, because Craig is thinking from a corporate standpoint, and he's correct. It's the way they think. It's the way they do it. The fact that they kept showing Bianca means that we're not burying her. Like, that's his thing, is we're not. Yeah. And it's like, well, you just fucked it up then. But okay.
You're giving that newspaper moment to her with the fucking belt on the turnbuckle. She doesn't deserve it. She wasn't ready for a match. Like, it's not right, but it happened.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cuz. Did you get a grade, Craig?
Oh yeah, what was your grade?
I don't know if I did. I don't know if it deserves a grade, because it wasn't really. It wasn't Bianca Sasha. But I can't give it an F. But I thoroughly enjoyed it and popped and texted all you guys. And Dave, it's just so funny. Dave did the exact same text that Noelle Foley did, with Becky in all caps and then like exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. And so it was same with Noelle Foley. So Dave, you are Noelle Foley.
Oh, I'll take that.
Sorry, Cuz, go ahead.
She's got a cute face. She's cute.
You know, if I had to go by the moment alone, as far as the return and the reaction, you know, I'd give that moment. Of course, I think I would give that moment an A, as far as the reaction, her returning, surprise.
The moment's completely different from the match. Yeah.
I was a little pissed about that, but then I don't know. I started thinking about, like, even leading up to it, like, to me, and I'm just going by from when I'm watching SmackDown and everything, and I'm seeing Bianca, or the last couple pay-per-views. I don't know. I just think the Reigns kind of fell flat. Like, she wasn't getting too much of a reaction, other than, at SummerSlam, she did get somewhat of a pop, but like watching SmackDown, watching Money in the Bank, she's not really getting a reaction. And if you believe and Dave Meltzer, if you believe them, supposedly Becky is going to be the heel in this feud. So what a way to give the person that you want to push, but she's not really getting a reaction, to get sympathy.
Yeah, you're gonna call
make Becky a heel, though, right?
She's gonna be the heel. That's according to the gods of wrestling.
They tried that.
So I'm willing
against Charlotte Flair when she whooped her with a bunch of canes, and she didn't come out of heel on that.
And then this might be the test, though. Like, okay, well, how over is Bianca? Will she be this, babyface that gets the sympathy?
Why are you putting it all on Bianca then?
Well, they already fucking put the title on her. Like,
I know that, but I mean, like, it's the same.
You just put it all on Bianca and you put the title on Lynch.
She's already falling flat. I feel like she is. Like, she wasn't, like, even in Florida when they had SmackDown in Florida,
she was doing just fine.
Month, she was not getting a reaction at all in Florida, her hometown, and no one gave a shit when she said, "We're going to be hosting the New Year's Eve party here in Florida." Everyone was like, "Yay!" Like, I think she's just falling.
I disagree.
I know, but how you don't push young talent is you just shit on them because they're not getting over. They're not getting over.
Well, I think there's a longer story in the end. That's why.
No, because
because if she's falling flat, and I'm sorry to sound like Meltzer, if she's not getting the reaction that she should be getting as their top over babyface woman, you got to do something. I know I still don't like the fact. I think the worst part where they did fuck up was the advertising of Sasha versus Bianca, and they were misleading us. I think that part alone.
They could have. You guys never saw the commentary, but we saw the same thing you did. They didn't say anything.
Yeah, see, that was stupid. That's where they fucked up.
That she was not wrestling.
That's where they fucked up.
Just so you guys know.
Yeah, now, they could have done that during the pre-show, and then
what they should have done, if she is going to be the heel, they should have had her cheap shot her if she was going to win that quickly. That would.
She did actually. She did.
Well, yeah, that's true. I guess she did, but
yeah. Becky went to shake her hand.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
She pulled her in and formed her in the face.
Well, there you go. She's heel. She's solidified then. She's a heel.
But she was never going to get a huge reaction.
It's going to work out just fine on television.
Right.
We'll see.
It did. I thought it was fine.
And I love Becky. I'm not trying to.
I think what Jess said was very, very important. It's like with the wind, you don't take the wind out of the crowd like that by not prepping the crowd that Sasha's not there. which we kind of knew, but the
that...
rest of the crowd, I think that's important. Like, but as far as it played on TV, for me, I did not hate it, and maybe because my life is miserable anyway, and the only joy that I have is maybe wrestling. So I was trying to find everything positive out of this.
Good.
And yet a day before you had CM Punk return, and this was like
Craig,
their response to it.
This is me giving you a hug, Craig. I'm giving you a hug.
You guys have a couch? Guys have problems.
So the whole wrestling world is a buzz about this angle or whatever you want to call it. So
that's what it's doing, right? The wrestling world is talking.
So the next we go into Drew McIntyre defeated Jinder Mahal by pinfall, 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Just, you know what? I love Drew. And it sucks to watch him like this. And I get what they're doing. I think they're just trying to hold him off. They're not shitting on him, but they're putting him in stupid stuff or whatever. Again, it's the whole problem.
They're kicking the can down the road on that, bro.
Yeah, they are. I think Drew will be back. I think Drew will have his moment in the shade and or moment in the sun. So he's in the shade right now.
They asked him what he wanted to do. He's like, I'll work with my former bestie.
Yeah, him and Jinder are actually really good friends, and like, and Drew did get a decent reaction when he came out. So like, people do like him. So maybe the heart will grow fonder. You know, with
can I just say one thing? Can you get rid of the fucking sword?
Yep.
Yes, I agree.
That's
I agree.
He's like, I almost got your head. I'm like, no.
Do you have to? Like when he first won the title, they didn't put him back in that kilt and shit, and then all of a sudden, like they have to make him a Celtic warrior. You know, not to quote Sheamus, but
I was saying they already have one.
Yeah, they had to make him like a warrior, and I'm like, why? Like he was fine before when he first won the title. He didn't have any of these gimmicks.
I think Jess just called it in 6 months. They're going to be tag team.
The virtual graphics look fine with a sword. Like you don't need to carry one out. You're not the berserker. You've got like just you're fine.
I don't even think the berserker carried one out. Did he?
He did. Yeah, he did. He carried his sword and shield and had out. So what grades real quick? Sorry.
D.
Oh, D.
D's.
Does D?
Yeah, I'll give it a D.
So we all love Drew. We all love Drew.
It seems like
I give it a D for Drew.
He liked it, but doesn't want to say that
D
he
for
didn't.
Drew.
You liked it?
I thought it was a fan.
Shit, 5 stars.
Drew's best match of the year.
And by the way, I want to say during this match, that's when I was out in the hall trying to get another beer, and we discovered the debacle of.
Yeah, it was around that time when it started.
The beer.
Well, at that point, you should have given it an F then. Just
I was upset. So then we go to the next match, and actually, I'm going to go off what Cuz said in the last one because he kind of has got me on this one. So on this, it was a triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship. 13 minutes and 5 seconds. Charlotte Flair defeated Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley. Okay.
Once again,
so Nikki got no reaction. Nobody cares. And sorry, I like Nikki a lot as a talent and performer, and she came up with this idea on her own, and she's trying to push this over. And I appreciate her trying to. She got in great shape. Not that she was ever in bad shape before, but she was known for. She worked out, repackaged herself, and she's really good, and I like her a lot. But this is nobody cared live. She got boos.
Really?
Rhea Ripley actually started. She got, I would say, half the crowd was actually into Rhea a lot. Like Ripley, she's got something, but they're still not. They still don't know what to do with it yet. I think because she doesn't look feminine like Vince wants, and I'm putting this all on Vince. But and so here's the deal. So Cuz has got me on this one because is like, look, Bianca wasn't getting the reaction. I told Cuz during the event and on the way home that people who bitch about Charlotte, if you were not in that arena, Charlotte was over as fuck in that arena. There's no, like when she came out, the woos were everywhere. And maybe it's because of her last name, but even when she paused like in the middle and she looked around. There's more
to it than that.
Every time she glanced, the crowd responded. Charlotte was over. And then she did that moonsault or the back 19 flip that she did.
Yeah, that was
almost killed Nikki on it, by the way.
Everybody stood up and cheered. Yeah, she did almost kill Nikki. Everybody stood up and cheered when she did that. Like she earns every bit. Charlotte Flair is pretty much the best women's wrestler in the world.
She is.
The whole package. There might be people that are physically better than her, but I give the match a C because it didn't really gel. I felt there was it didn't need to be a 3-way, and it was. And we know why. But everything Charlotte did got a reaction, and that was my big thing. So Cuz has got me on that one. But I give it a C+. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad.
I'll put it in the B- range. One thing I said, I was texting I have another wrestling thread that's like totally separate from this one because they're AEW
what
guys.
What the fuck?
What?
I know. Don't.
You cheating on us, bitch?
A little bit.
Here it comes. All Elite podcast.
But here's the deal. This is what we had said the entire time. Was, in my opinion, Rhea and Charlotte shouldn't even touch each other for like a year. put them on different brands. Let Rhea build herself up. Do something completely different. The minute you put Charlotte in that, it just convolutes the whole thing. You need to give Rhea time. Rhea's absolutely amazing because when they did touch after you didn't see them wrestle for a long time, that match was absolutely insane. Was it 2 years ago? Was it WrestleMania when Rhea and Charlotte and
Rhea won the title?
And Rhea won the title.
And then remember she came back and won, or well, no, Charlotte did NXT title first, right?
Yes.
And then it was Rhea.
But the match that they had at I believe WrestleMania was just absolutely insane.
It was hard hitting.
It
was COVID Mania, right?
Yeah. And it was one of the best women's matches I'd seen ever. Rhea and Charlotte should take a year and not even, you can talk all the shit you want, but they shouldn't even lay hands until like, not even this WrestleMania, like SummerSlam a year later and meet up for a title, or even WrestleMania a year and a half later, because Rhea needs that time for people to get really behind her because she does have something. But the minute you put that against Charlotte, it just looks a little bit unpolished. You need to separate them because when they do finally, it's like when the Mega Powers explode or Hogan versus Warrior, it has that kind of capability. I know that sounds really weird because when they finally did it, it was absolute fire. They need to get them away from each other. Put them on different brands for like a year and let them come back and totally explode. And you're going to have something special. But right now,
for some reason, I said this to Cuz, and maybe this plays into what you're saying, Dave. Rhea cannot beat Charlotte. I don't know why. She's not beaten her ever. Like, it just doesn't make
not right
sense.
now. Not right now. There's no way.
Every time Charlotte has gotten the better of her, she's made her tap. She's done everything to her. Like, in this one, she beat Nikki, so she didn't beat Rhea directly, but still, like, Rhea Ripley cannot beat Charlotte.
Charlotte gives me very big Triple H vibes.
She does.
But
woman heel.
Again, just like Triple H, she kind of earns it. And the fact that you guys in that arena live noticed the complete difference of that, like, I was rooting for Nikki at home, but I also, you got to respect the shit out of her. Like, her entrance is gorgeous. Like, she's fucking an Amazon. The moonsault, though she kills someone, she feels unsafe at times to me, but it doesn't matter.
Peacock,
like
suit,
you love to boo her, but you respect the shit out of her when she wins. I give it a B. I liked it, but.
Yeah, my C was like, it was going with an arrow up next to it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think,
I mean, I feel like I'm giving a B to everything, and I don't know why. Like, I think being there is an entirely different thing.
Because I do respect all three women, and I really like Nikki a lot. It's just it's not working. When
we're all gonna just naturally start sounding like Meltzer. We're just gonna be like, no. But Vince had an idea for that.
Nikki was.
They talked to Marvel, and Marvel refused the actual licensing of a superhero for her, so she's almost superhero.
So, did you give it a grade, Cuz?
No, I give it a B as well. I remember saying it in the beginning too, and I'll keep posting more of the videos of like the entrances and stuff. But I remember saying that too. Now watch the difference between the entrances of the first two that came out, and then watch Charlotte. And then as soon as Charlotte's music hit, the fucking crowd went crazy for her. Whether some were booing or cheering, she got a reaction. The other two,
she was.
Got no reaction.
It was buzzing. The arena was alive, and for sure.
Charlotte is on top of the world right now.
She is,
which is why Rhea. Like,
so when people I see post too, I posted something about Becky on our Instagram, and people were like, "Yeah, Becky's," because Craig sent me that picture. It was Hulk Hogan holding the belt from WrestleMania 9,
fucking great.
And then the caption was Becky Lynch just pulled a Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam or something like that. Sure. And then someone commented and said, "Yeah, both her and Charlotte." And I'm like, look,
not the same.
No,
but no, it's not the same. But the reaction is, listen to Becky. Of course, Becky's huge. She's just as popular as any of the guys. And Charlotte has that buzz. Like, there's a reason why they keep getting used. Like, there's a reason why. We may not agree with it, with whatever metric they use to move the needle, but it's true. Like, they get Becky's hugely over.
I think about Becky's chase. I think about Daniel Bryan's chase. They could have done that.
Now, when they use someone like Becky, like they did Hogan to shit on Brett, and they used Becky to really shit on Bianca, I'm not a fan of that. However, here to say that, I'm so sick of fucking Charlotte.
That's not the same thing.
Tell 51,000 people that flew into Vegas from different states that flew into Vegas.
To see Charlotte.
And then tell them to stop giving her the reaction.
That's where my argument comes in. When anytime someone gets released and they're like, "Oh, they were the best in the world. They were so over." It's like, really? Then why didn't you cheer for them like someone did Charlotte tonight or last night or 2 nights ago? Why do you chant for them after they're gone?
Why did Eva get released for the third time?
Yeah, she was the best. She's so over.
It's gonna happen.
Let's go into the next match here. There's different layers to this one. It's Edge versus Seth Rollins. He defeats Seth Rollins by submission, 21 minutes. I was underwhelmed only because I couldn't hear the commentary. I went and watched it later, listening to the story and everything. It made the commentary helped a lot. I was just expecting these guys to blow this shit out of the water. Like, did they give a bad match? Absolutely not.
I think you and Dave are the same way.
This is the first of their many matches, so that's why they didn't deliberately rip the house down, because it's going to be a longer thing. But this match was good. Please don't make die. And let me say, Edge coming down to the Brood.
Oh my God!
The entrance was fantastic.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Edge
but then they bailed out of it because
they're
like, our fans don't know what the Brood music is.
Thank you. No, I said that live. I was talking to a couple of the people that went with us too that hadn't watched wrestling.
But they did love it.
And they were just like, yeah, I didn't know what the Brood was. And I was like, right.
You would have loved it if just let it do all Brood. Fucking double.
Yeah. So it got a good reaction in the arena, but awesome. When he got down and then he did the "you think you know me," then the place went crazy.
It was a good call. It was the best call.
Both of these guys were amazing. Don't get me wrong, please. Like, and you could tell they were setting up for
matches. Is what you're saying?
Yes, I wanted to be selfish and I wanted them to tear the goddamn roof off that place with 50,000 people there. I give it a B. I wanted to give it an A plus.
To be fair, I wanted to try to buy 3 beers like 2 hours ago and wasn't able to, and I was stuck in Las Vegas.
That's a good point too. And the fact that Edge is still getting in there with people. I know Dave has an opinion, but listen, I don't know how Edge is not like considered one of the greatest. Like he's showing that after being off for 8-9 years, after his injury, he's in there with these young guys, still having to perform at a high level, still inventing creative spots when he rammed Rollins' head over and over and over again in the ring and then put him back in the submission. That's good shit.
Banging against the ring apron Titantron, that fake sketched it out.
Yeah, they made it flicker. They made it. And actually, they lost it because they did a big move before that, and the audience was still responding live in the arena to that. So when he hit him on the Titantron, nobody reacted because they were still chanting "This is awesome" from something they did before. I don't remember what the move was before. I can't remember what he did before. And then when I did that, because I was like, "Oh my god!"
They did something out of the ring, like a planche or something.
Yeah, they did something to get outside of the ring, and then the fans were busy chanting "This awesome." So when he rammed him, when he did like a forward DDT into the thing, and then the apron like shorted out and shut off. I loved it. I was like, dude, that's fucking badass. But nobody reacted to that shit, but everyone was so busy reacting to what he did before.
They had too much good stuff going on.
The crowd was into this match for sure. Seth Rollins was badass too, by the way. Like he's funny. He's awesome as a heel. God damn it. Like so good. And then the whole thing when they're like, if I hit the curb stomp, you know your career's over, right? They did the whole thing. That's why I was like, I need an A+ match right now. I want shit on the outside of the ring. I want blood. I wanted it all. And
it's coming.
I know it is.
You gotta be patient.
I know it is. I know.
But I'll put it in the A- category because of the commentary. To your point, Jess.
You shit on it that night over text.
What did I say?
You said I don't understand the love for Edge.
I don't know how you.
I still don't.
Oh, Dave's gonna be mad at my comment when we get to.
No, that's completely different. Okay. I still don't understand the love for Edge.
Okay,
but you still have to pay homage to the match.
So, okay,
and the match itself is an A- because when you start talking about telling a story and he tries to curb stomp him several times and Edge finds a way out of it.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that. But when he wins and they just, I'm like, it's just Edge, guys. Like,
you're so ridiculous.
I get it. I get it.
You're just ridiculous.
I can't.
I get it.
And you know what the first thing my wife always says when he comes out, like, what's wrong with his eyes?
Oh.
I mean, he's old, honey. He's old. He's old like us.
He looked like he'd been doing some meth.
He comes out like,
and you can. I don't know what you want. Like I really don't. I can't get through to you on.
I just gave you an A- on the match. I just
I know you did. I know you did. But as far as like Edge is concerned, like he didn't come back. He purposely didn't want to win the world title from anybody.
Yeah.
He hasn't won a goddamn thing since except for matches that he's won. But he hasn't won a title. He's lost every title match cleanly. Yeah. He got beat clean by Roman. Good. And like and so that's what I'm saying. So you're like, I just don't get it. I'm like,
I know what Dave's saying because half the first 25% of this match, I was the same way. I was like, why is this motherfucker entitled? Like he was, and then I compared it to Orton.
He is getting every major
and he made
match.
it. He's welcome to the entitlement, but like he obviously gets as much time as he wants. And I just flashed back to the
what was
Orton
the time
match,
on
which
that
was
again,
like
Jess? 21 minutes?
it was way
21
too
minutes.
long. The Orton match, I was like, he's gonna fucking blow it like he is. He thinks he can tell these long stories where he didn't in that Orton match.
Well, you're
at
right.
all.
The COVID Mania match wasn't very good.
But
bad.
this one, I was started that way, and then I was like, I was fully on board. I was fully invested, and by the end of it, the shit they gave each other, and the curb stomp, and it was one of the greatest like promos. The neck promo that came before the match, like this was the best match of the night for me.
And by the way, Seth gets a reaction, but it is. I'm telling you, just from being live in the arena, it's not just my opinion. Seth gets the "no, we don't want to fucking boo this guy" reaction.
Oh, yeah.
And Seth is good, and he's over, and
He's so
people
good.
are.
It's like
I think everyone's on
like the
board
boo
with it.
laugh kind of thing.
But this makes him like just his ha ha ha, like his fucking laugh that he does on purpose to make people
He
crazy.
does have that laugh, yeah.
But he's finding himself, and it's the same. We'll talk about Roman later. He's finding himself, and I love it. I love watching guys find themselves, because now when he goes back to be a face, he's going to be a better face than he was before.
Yeah.
I think when they had him beat Lesnar a year ago, I don't think he really knew what to do with that faceness, if that makes any sense. And now I think that he's heel. When he goes back, he's going to be an amazing face. Like, it's going to happen. I'm so impressed with his turn. I used to think a couple years ago, I was like, Seth might be a little overrated.
The Undertaker's hard to reinvent every couple years that he did. Like, imagine being Seth Rollins when he was the face every night, every week for 3 years, 2 years.
When he was Triple H's boy.
His back and
Well,
forth.
and that's part of the problem,
These
Dave. You're right.
slight
That's a
little
good point.
moments of like Messiah and blah blah blah, and now like whatever he does, it works, and he's the best. He's one of the best.
He
It's
believes
not
in
even-
himself.
it's not
He
even a
fucking believes
question.
in
It's the best
himself. He
match tonight.
found it. He found,
Cuz
he
I'm
found
sorry.
his stride. He believes in himself.
No,
Go
what
ahead,
grade
Cuz.
did you give it, Craig? You just said it was the best match of the night.
I'll give you know what? I'll give it an
an
A. Fuck me, I'll give it an A.
Gave it an A. I nudged you into that A, but I'm not ashamed of it.
I'll give it an A minus. I love the brute entrance. I actually enjoyed the match and the false finishes, and when Seth hit the pedigree when Edge went to the spear, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
a
really
great-
great.
And I was like, oh man, I don't know. And the whole thing was awesome. And I don't know, man. Like, just thinking about Edge, and when I was sitting there watching it, and thinking of how iconic he is as far as like within the wrestling world, the reactions he get every time he comes out, how big of a deal it is for him just to even return. Any mid-carder like returning from an injury for a long time, even maybe a broken neck, I don't think they would have gotten the pop and reaction someone like Edge would get. And I started thinking to myself, I might get shot here for saying this, but I think Edge is WWE Sting.
Could be.
Yeah, that's a good
He's
comparison.
decorated. He's WWE loyal. He puts
He's
over
earned
other
it.
wrestlers. He's not selfish.
Yeah.
He's.
Yeah.
What can you say? I don't know. Like, I just think that's just my opinion. I don't know why that thought
No,
came
I
across
think
my mind.
that's- I
You're
think
right.
that's great.
You're right.
Sitting
Dave
there.
is a piece of shit. You're right.
You're right,
Dave
yeah.
is full of shit.
That's fair. That's fair.
So the next match is for.
Wait, were we talking? Okay, we're all on the same page though, right there?
Yeah,
about
Dave?
Dave?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
Dave.
we've always
Big
done
jump.
that.
Fucking garbage human being. Go ahead, Jess. What's next?
The next match is for the WWE Championship. How the belt has fallen.
This is how the match with Becky should have gone.
Not because of the champion, by the way. 7 minutes and 10 seconds, which is the longest match
did
Goldberg's
we
ever
miss
been in.
Lashley Goldberg?
No, it's right here. We're doing it right now.
Good.
Yeah. So it's Bobby Lashley defended his championship, his WWE championship against Goldberg via referee stoppage. Like,
I'm so mad
live
about
in the
that.
arena.
But
Live in the arena, Lashley got a good ovation when he came down, a good response. Goldberg got a decent pop when he came out, and after the music went off, he got booed so loud, and it was so good. And Goldberg looked awful in this match. He looked unsafe every fucking time he took anything. I hate Goldberg. I'm gonna say it. I respect. I do. I'm sorry. I respect where he came from. He was over as fuck in WCW in 98, 99. If you didn't live through the Monday Night War, Goldberg was over as fuck. But he had a lot of
he's
people
a
back then.
diminished version of himself, that's for sure.
Yeah. The fact that they're dusting him off and parading him out like, I don't know, Edge or other people like that is offensive to me, because like Goldberg is.
I'll give you that. Edge is a way better dust off at this point.
Even though when he came back, his 2-minute matches with Lesnar in the beginning were good because Lesnar's fucking talented and Lesnar knew what to do. Yeah. Goldberg, like you saw it in Saudi Arabia when he took on Undertaker, and that they both almost killed each other. And like Goldberg's fucking terrible. And why like they keep dusting him off and bringing him back is fucking beyond me. Like I care. Like, I fucking care. He looks in great shape for 54 years
Yeah,
old. I will
goddamn
be the
it.
first to say that. But yeah, the second the bell rang, Bobby Lashley had his work cut out for him here, and they protected Goldberg.
Yeah,
Why?
I know.
Like, but like
I
they
was gonna
did.
say, like, yeah.
Well, I guess they're coming. The crown jewel or whatever is
Yeah.
coming up
Yeah.
because reminded me the Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia trip. So I
Oh,
think
yeah,
he's
yeah,
gonna.
and
I think he's gonna
he'll
rematch.
sell- they'll do a lot of money with Goldberg over there for sure.
So I think he's gonna face Bobby in a rematch. I think that's why they did it. But they kind of protected him, even though they didn't. They made him look like a puss by getting.
I was
his
gonna
leg hurt.
say,
but
I agree with you, but yeah,
But at the same, this is
Yeah.
WWE. If we're talking about what WWE does nowadays, this is how WWE would protect him because they don't know what the fuck they're doing either.
Blah, blah, blah. I didn't
So yeah,
quit.
so he attacked his leg. The shit where he put Goldberg on his shoulder and ran him in the pole looked cool on the outside, and the crowd responded to it. I love that Lashley won. The crowd was actually cheering loudly when he won.
Yeah.
Because and then when he attacked him with the chair, the crowd got loud too.
That's hilarious.
I give the match a D-, not because of Leslie, not because of Lashley's effort.
No,
Because
no,
I
no.
love Lashley as champion. I love MVP. As his manager,
Oh, yeah.
I think all that shit is wonderful. And
Yeah.
by the way, when MVP hit Goldberg with the cane, Goldberg fucking didn't even know it.
He
and he
no-sold
turned
it.
around and
Yeah.
then he looked at him and he goes, "Oh!" and he grabbed his leg.
Then
I'm
he
like, "You
sold it.
fucking suck." I felt like Matt Riddle. I was like, "You fucking suck, bro." Like at that point, I was so like mad. So
Dude,
D.
I was
fucking
gonna say,
suck.
did you feel like Riddle should have came out at that point and started talking shit? Like,
They should have put him on the big screen. He should have been calling the match. Like,
Bro, that's
bro,
fucking
you
great.
suck, bro.
so go ahead, Craig. I want to hear you.
Yeah, Craig, you do it, Craig.
Yeah, okay. Here's the
Come
thing.
on, Craig.
I didn't hate it as much as I thought I'd hate it, but I
you
still
go.
hated it. And here's why. And the more Jess spoke, the more I was like, fuck yeah, I should give no fucking leeway to Goldberg.
Oh, I'm
The fact
gonna.
that Goldberg thinks that, like, okay, Vince, I'll do it, but I got to do this angle with my son. And then his son got ragdolled and still got booed.
Which was great.
Hey,
That was
Which
awesome,
great, by the
actually.
way.
But I will say also, in Goldberg's defense, this was the most moves and the most punishment and the longest match I've seen him,
Yeah.
and the most impressed I've been with him in his last maybe 3 matches.
Oh, Craig, he almost fell on his head every time.
Yeah, and
It's not-
that's terrible and horrible to say. Like,
There's
that's
the- there's
the,
the-
expectation.
There's the magic of camera work here, Jess. I think that you're missing from the arena.
And the other thing
little
I
bit.
will say is, I laugh because Goldberg just got smoke, and then there's no pyro in Vegas, and I kept reading
Yeah,
it could
we
be
were
pyro.
talking
about-
So there was absolutely no fireworks for Goldberg.
That's a good point because some of the people that we were with and people around us were like, "Oh, I can't wait! I've never seen a Goldberg entrance live."
Yeah.
And when I saw the fucking steam,
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know that rule, Craig,
Yeah.
that there's no pyro in Vegas. So I was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's all he's got."
It's-
and you took all of it away from him.
It was just some
Why did you even-
douchebag in the car next to you smoking on a vape. There's a
Out the
that's
car.
all they had. Like, there was no
Yeah,
pyro.
fuck you, bud.
They
Yeah,
could
his
have done that. They could have just had
His
like 10
entrance is
vapors right
everything
there.
about him. His entrance is
He's like
him,
cherry
and they
flavor.
took it away.
Yeah, cherry flavor.
Apple ice.
Yeah. What'd you grade it, though? Craig?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Jess gave it a D minus.
C minus.
Right? I'll give it a C minus.
I like Bobby Lashley too.
Yeah, I mean, there's something. Yeah, Bobby Lashley's great.
Yeah,
Bobby Lashley is great. Can we just say that? Can we just start there?
He is
He's
great.
fucking awesome.
He's
And
a-
I'm
yeah.
still-
fucking awesome. And I'm more on
still
board
really
every week. with
upset,
him.
but also kind of cool that I have the same Bobby Lashley scar.
And he gets to beat up Goldberg's son and Goldberg and still get cheered on the way out.
So good.
It's gonna be so good luck, Saudi Arabia.
What I would say was this was a bit of an experiment. Like, I don't know why you do it at SummerSlam, but it was an experiment to see if Goldberg can go past 2 minutes. And they kind of almost
He
pulled
did.
it off.
But he was limping on the way
They almost
down. You
did.
guys notice he was limping on the
Yeah, he was limping on the way down when he got in the ring. He was limping like because he's fucking old Goldberg.
He's 55
old,
or
man.
something,
He's
right?
old.
He's 50,
Come
yeah,
on.
he's almost 55.
He pulled him on the Bowflex. But anyway, I mean, he gets in there and Bobby Lashley's doing the work. And then you can see noticeable breather time for Goldberg. It was very much intentional. And I'm like, oh, they're trying to figure this out, how to make this really work in future time where Goldberg can get blown up, but then recover. And to me, I was like, this is deliberate and it's kind of interesting, but I do hate Goldberg, but I will give it a C minus because I appreciate the work. I really appreciate Bobby Lashley, and I did have a lot of fun when Goldberg's like, "I'll kill you."
Yeah.
No,
you won't. You can't walk, bitch.
no,
Yeah,
you won't, bro.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't.
'Cause-
you got no wheels. Yeah.
Actually, I'm right there with Dave. I give it a C- because I think about the match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 20. I think about the match with Undertaker at Saudi Arabia. I think about the match with The Fiend, and I'm like, well,
This
compared to
was
those
better.
matches, as far as going past the 5-minute mark,
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad. Other than Goldberg, fucking botching a lot. And I did like that they had Lashley kind of dominate him too. Not like we're with Lesnar, where it was like back and forth. There are two good matches that they had, where it was like back and forth destruction derby. But I was also let down because it wasn't a match like that. I thought it was going to be a quick 5-minute match where they were just fucking ramming each other through apron or through the barricades and just destroying shit all around. And it wasn't that. But the icing on the cake was Lashley putting his son in the hurt business, the hurt
Jess,
lock.
could you argue that this is the best? This is not the best we've seen of Lashley necessarily, because other federations may have done it better. This is the best that WWE has used Bobby Lashley by far.
Yeah.
Currently,
If I'm
yes.
gonna dissect it and not worry, like not focus on Goldberg, the fact that his character is like a monster and they're pushing him like that, I enjoy
So
a lot.
good.
Yeah.
I love it.
And the fact that they actually were ballsy to put a kid in full Nelson was awesome.
Yeah,
like,
that
too.
was
Like,
awesome.
they
that part got
really-
me.
He let him loose pretty quick though. He kind of let him go.
I'll bash on the way they used Becky this night and all that stuff and everything, but like I have to say, forget what
That was
I
a good
said
moment.
about Goldberg. They did what they could do with it, and they made it part of the storyline. WWE booked this match right. I guess
The booking is
They
absolutely
booked
there.
it right. Yeah, it was just Goldberg. It was the
Yeah,
one
they
half.
booked it right. I couldn't. The second I saw Goldberg limping down in the ring, I'm like, I'm irritated already. Like, and then he didn't get his fireworks. I was irritated he didn't get his fireworks. It was just it was all doomed from the start.
But
So
but the booking and the staging through it was right. It was done well.
yeah. So now let's go to the main event of the evening.
Main
For the WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns defended his title against John Cena.
This
24
match.
minutes.
Who thought that was going to be any different?
This no, and it wasn't any different than what I thought, but they both pulled it off so well. Roman Reigns is so great. Again, just like Seth Rollins, they have found themselves.
Yep.
This when
I
everyone
think
bitched
Roman
that they
is
should
10
turn
times
Roman
that,
heel,
but
I'm not saying just turn someone when something's not working. I've never started yelling for turn them face or turn them heel when they're not working. But the fact that Roman, he's always been capable. He's a great athlete. There's nothing wrong with him. Like, he's always been good in there. He's always putting good matches.
He doesn't
too.
make mistakes in there.
He doesn't make mistakes. He's a good-looking guy. He's got size to him.
He's
He can
massive.
talk. He's intimidating. Craig, we lost your sound, Craig, by the way, just so you know. Craig, can you hear me?
Sorry. Yeah, I was muted. I said he sells enough to make you look like $1 million, but still is a monster. Like, he's
we
amazing.
couldn't hear anything. And I could tell you guys probably saw more at home. He talked to the camera a lot.
Yeah.
But we can't hear that in the crowd. But people were reacting to him talking shit because he was just laughing and talking shit to Cena.
Oh, yeah.
When Cena was down. Cena performed really well for what Cena does, like in there.
Yeah.
The place went nuts for Cena when he came out.
Oh my god.
And
But
it was
it's SummerSlam 2014.
seeing
all
that
over
entrance
again.
live, that was really cool
Yeah.
to see Cena come back and awesome. And then the way Roman slowly walked down to the ring, they certainly responded to him.
Yeah.
I give this an A. It was my favorite match of the night. Like
I like
was,
that.
we were into it.
I like to hear that you
We
saw
were
it live and give it an A. That's really cool.
We were tired at the end of it, but this match woke everybody up because I personally, was disappointed with Edge and Seth. Again, not because it was a bad match, but I wanted the world from it. It was wrong of me to do it. You had the kind of,
And then
in
you
my
had Goldberg
opinion,
come out.
the botched Becky return, even though Becky got a great ovation, which is what they wanted for the clips.
Yeah.
But like, I just was sort of like, God damn it, give me something. And this match delivered. Cena didn't do anything out of his wheelhouse, but he worked
was good,
hard.
dude.
He hasn't. When's the last time he wrestled? And then for him to be in the shape as he
he
in,
looked fine.
and to do 25 minutes and tell that psychology with Roman, like on par.
When
like,
he kept trying to, and every time he kept trying to roll him up quick and pin him, the whole thing of the whole match was Cena's like, all I got to do is pin you, and he kept trying to roll him up over and over and over again to get a quick pin.
Told the story.
And it was really cool.
I know I can't punish you, but I can catch you.
all props
Yeah,
to me in this match was like with Cena. Like, my God, what a fucking amazing legend to like go and he's probably.
I was
calling
really
it,
happy.
too.
I was really happy to
and
disclose the show.
to put him all over like that, and not only put him over, but then put Brock over for the next step. Because,
Well, then,
Cena's got another movie to make, so we're gonna let him do.
After Roman pins him, Brock's music hits. That was the other surprise of the night. And he had the face off with Roman. So Brock's going to fit in the picture somehow. Is he going to go with them? Is he going to be against them? Paul Heyman was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like on the video screen. He had his hand on his chest. He's like, oh my God. Like he just kept doing it.
It was like
so
a
great.
heart attack. I watched him the whole time, even outside.
It was so great. But it just the fact that, John Cena is very unselfish. Maybe he played politics in his prime. I don't know.
Unselfish.
But who hasn't played politics when they're up on that level? He allowed Roman to dominate him, even though the match was close, but it was just close with Cena trying to get Crick Will up. So you thought it could happen, but really he allowed Roman to dominate him. And like, it was awesome. Dude, I forgot.
And then allows freaking Brock to F5 him off camera.
Yeah, off camera. When by the way,
actually.
a little live thing that you guys didn't see, who watched the pay-per-view, because I texted these guys afterwards when the pay-per-view went off the air. Cena starts crawling up. You just see like out from under. His hand grabbed the rope, and we were all laughing because we're all Cena's come back up. Lesnar was already leaving. He was halfway down the ramp, and he turns around, and you just see Cena's other hand grab the rope. And then Lesnar turns around and looks at the crowd and walks back, and then the crowd starts to get loud. And then he goes back and gets on the apron and watches Cena crawl all the way in the ring, and he's just staring at him. And then he gets in there, 2 German suplexes into the F5, and then gets up and leaves.
No, I saw the suplexes on Twitter.
Yeah, he did 2 German. On the second one, dare I say, Cena's face is like, I don't want to do this. Like he just it was like hard, and then he F5'd him or whatever, and then Cena laid there, and then actually, as we were all filing out of the arena, when he got up, he got an ovation.
Yeah, he did.
He got up, he sat up, and
because he's great, man.
But he didn't ask for anything. The camera wasn't still live. They could have easily, if they didn't have Brock, or they could have had Brock return, Brock do the face off and leave, and then have Cena stand up and get a
Cena
ovation
didn't even get
camera.
like a goodbye moment, like a Hulk moment. Like
no,
he pushed the story forward.
There was a lot of respect for me when I saw Cena like that. I was like, you could say what you want about him, but from 2005 and on, he was the face of the company for a long time, for like 10 years. And
he was completely dominant.
Yeah, just to see, would Hogan ever have went out like that? No way. Would The Rock ever go out like that? No way.
He only cares about putting new guys over. Not that Roman's a new guy, but like that's where he is now. Like he knows he's taking a spot when he comes in, but he's special. And I think he deliberately wanted to do like the house loop the last 2 weeks before SummerSlam, and the tickets spiked because of that. Like, you know what? I used to hate that motherfucker so much, and I used to boo him so much.
Super Cena, bro.
Ever since the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge, I've been a John Cena fan, and will be for the rest of my life, actually, because of that. And everything he's done.
And I'm sure he politicked in the back, but who didn't?
Of
honestly?
course he did for his spot.
This guy right here was raised on Hulk Hogan, and he was the biggest politician in the back ever. They celebrate.
I thought you were raised on Shawn Michaels. What?
They celebrate Shawn Michaels all the time, and he was the biggest politician in the back. Triple H was too. Yeah. All the big guys that are on top, they're on this rare era that nobody else can understand.
You don't get it. You don't keep it unless you're.
All people can do is hate you. All people can do is hate you at that.
You have to slow everyone down coming up. That's it.
Mm-hmm. So like it was, I'm glad this ended the match. I don't know who's giving grades and not, but I'm glad this ended the pay-per-view.
It's A's all around.
I don't think we've heard from Cuz.
A.
I give it an A+, honestly. I fucking love
so good.
The match.
It was so
the
fun.
false finishes got me so like when Cena did the super F5 attitude adjustment off the top rope.
Off the top
I was
rope.
like, oh, it's over
God,
because he's always beating everybody
I
with
made
that.
my wife come in
Kevin
the ring
Owens,
and
AJ
watch
Styles.
Sorry.
And oh my God. And then Brock Lesnar coming out, that was a fucking big surprise. The crowd went crazy for it. Actually, WWE, I think WWE Fox actually showed it today. They did show what happened off the air. With John Cena. Yeah, they showed the suplexes and everything. Good. But yeah, man, that was everything that you could have asked for in that type of main event. And John Cena, he always pulls through in those types of matches. And Roman, he's just so good. He's so good as a heel. I remember in FCW, he was cutting promos like this, but now he's like more refined it. He's like perfected it. But he was cutting these types of promos as a heel in FCW before it became NXT, or before WWE contracted with FCW and everything.
Sure. Yeah.
But people might have good counterpoints about Cena, but like honestly, like think about all throughout time. How many times did we read that Vern Gagne, when he come out of retirement, he would beat a bunch of people that he knew he shouldn't have beat. Hulk Hogan was beating Randy Orton in SummerSlam 05. 06, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like, and he insisted on beating Michaels the year before. None of them have, like, all of them when they come back. And Vince approves everything. I mean, not the Vern Gagne situation, but I mean everything else. I'm just going way far back to Vern Gagne because every ego, especially somebody who's drawn and can't let go of that past, that memory of them drawing. and then you got Cena who now is coming in. He has nothing to lose or win by this. He doesn't get any more stock for doing this, but he does behind the scenes because people will see like, wow, like this is the way you should do it. And I appreciated that. Yeah. Walking out, I knew the cameras were off. He just got like assaulted by Brock Lesnar off the camera for no reason. And then he still sat up there and didn't really care. I'm sure if the crowd cheered it, I'm sure he appreciated it. But like, even if he didn't get that ovation, like when he stood up, he didn't care. Like he just did his job. Yeah. He left. Like, I respect the shit out of that.
And
man.
Roman
like,
Reigns. Okay.
If there's one person, Cena, you'll never hear this, but like, yeah, I appreciated you. Looking back, I made sure as I was walking out, I looked at him in the ring because I was like, I want to remember that. Yep. He was a headliner, Same and here. That's what they should do. And I'm sure there's been other people besides him that's done that maybe we didn't know about. But like, people like him, they're the reason why like wrestling survives and keeps going, because people like him will always remember. Hey, I remember guys like Angle who did that for me. And who did all, who put me over, and Undertaker, who when he was young, I mean, yeah, Vince said, you fucking put this guy over, but Undertaker could have been like, no, choose somebody else, have King do it, or whatever. Like, but they didn't. All the big guys were like, okay, because they all, I think, knew something about Cena back then. They all knew.
And you guys can attest, like the John Cena merch and people that were wearing the green shirts, like that night, like
there was a lot of people.
You cannot imagine, like, in front of us. We can't fathom it. Our 10, 15 years growing up with like Cena and not really liking it, but it wasn't about that. Like, he sells tickets.
He sells tickets.
There was adults. We saw adults walking out, with many of them shirts in their 20s and 30s with John Cena's shirt on. Like, so people wore them for him to come back. Like, so it's, hey man, he's got that generation. It didn't connect with me because I didn't need to be connected with like that. I already had my connection by getting into wrestling. But that's what it's all about. So the people that started watching wrestling was because of Cena. Yeah, good. Yeah, because I'm glad you got into it.
He did what he was supposed to do too, man. He freaking elevated Roman Reigns big time, and now Roman Reigns, like, to me, he's established himself as like that. He's that final end boss in a video game that you have to beat, like just like Brock Lesnar did. Roman Reigns is doing just that, and we'll see what happens with him and Brock. But I'm sure Roman gonna beat him.
While also selling out Allegiant Stadium on the way to that.
Yeah, that was on Cena's back for sure. Yeah. Again, he comes back after all these years being off, and then SummerSlam, 51,000 people. I'm not saying I wouldn't have drawn, but I mean, like, people were like, oh, cool, Cena's going to be there. Now I'm really going to go.
Exactly.
Like, so.
And who knows what's going to happen.
So rapid fire, when I call your name, give it an overall grade. You ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. B. I had fun at home.
Just
C+.
That doesn't matter. You were just Cuz
B plus.
What'd you say? Did you say C plus 2 or D plus?
B plus.
Oh, got it. Sorry.
Yeah, B. Guys, good stuff. I did enjoy it. I'm happy that Becky's champ. I'm pissed off the way they did it. I'm a little.
Yeah, we all like Becky. I don't know if we made it clear. Becky's great.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Great, I wish she would have chased it for about 6 months. And final match was fire. Lashley is a king. And I wish that Sasha was there. And I wish that Bianca was still champ in some weird way.
I love you, Sasha.
Okay. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. That was not awkward at all. On social media, give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019.
Love you, Alexibus.
Or on Facebook on Our Wrestling Podcast. This is Dave, Jess, Craig, Cuz. What did I say? Yeah. With the O.W.P signing off. Have a good one. Good one.
One good.